He did not say they were classmates. He did not say, the president did not say he attended the same school with Alexander Ziggman. Schoolmate.
What's the schoolmate?
No, he said university at the end of the video. He said, our
university.
Let me tell you what he said.
But what's a schoolmate?
Hold on, he said,
you just said, he attended the same school, but he called it a school.
He didn't mention school.
Let me tell you what he said. Hold on, El-Rufai. Let me tell you what he said. He said that our university will be proud of us. So it was a university. It's not secondary school. It's not primary school. He said university.
Now says he attended University of Illinois, Chicago.
Exactly, good.
And what is in the public domain is about President Tinubu attending Chicago State University.
Those are the points.
So that's why, people will play politics with it. That the president of Nigeria probably does not know the university that he attended. So
honestly, this is laughable. Tinubu does not know the university that he attended. So, according to the recent claim, Tinubu said that Mr. Ziggman is his schoolmate. And the Nigerians have already dig out some truths that what Tinubu said is not true, because according to the information out there, Tinubu attended Chicago State University, while Mr. Alex Ziggman attended University of Illinois in Chicago. So today, Arise News was on fire, even when Dr. Abati tried to defend Tinubu. Like himself, he's even confused. Like, you cannot defend Tinubu and remain the same, honestly. Let me allow you guys to take a look and see what they discuss here, as well as what El-Rufai said concerning Tinubu, which a Tinubu spokesperson, has already come out to say that we should disregard everything El-Rufai said about Tinubu, that he is bitter, this and that. So all this, they will discuss it here. You need to sit down and just watch everything that took place here on Arise News this morning. Just take a look.
I miss those times we used to hang out in school together. Good morning, Rufai on fire.
Which school? In Zimbabwe or in South Africa?
He's Umukwata.
Or Umukwata.
We went to school in Umukwata together. How many days did we spend together? I was a nice for this. It was a long time ago. We speak English on an international channel.
Please,
good morning.
I don't like assertions like that.
Yes.
Be balanced. Be balanced.
All right, very
balance
good.
It out.
All right.
Policy maker.
Rufai on fire.
Is it an empirical fact? That you went to school in
Umukwata? Well, we will bring out the evidence. Don't worry. We can
prove it.
Well, all right. Play too much. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Vice President Atiku Abubakar has challenged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's assertion that Belarusian businessman Alexander Ziggman, who introduced to Nigerians during the launch of his renewed Hope agricultural mechanization program on Monday, was his schoolmate at a Chicago university. Tinubu had referred to Ziggman as his neighbor and schoolmate in Chicago. However, Atiku's media office countered the president's claim, stating that Ziggman was born in 1966, which would have made him only 13 years old in 1979, when Tinubu claimed to have graduated from the university. Atiku's statement questioned the credibility of Tinubu's claim and also raised concerns about Ziggman's alleged involvement in questionable transactions in Africa, citing international media reports. Well, Atiku's Media 8 released this press statement on Paul Ibe's Twitter account, and I'll read an excerpt of the statement. They wrote, "Are we now to believe that the Guinness Book of Records missed the story of a 13-year-old Belarusian prodigy graduating from an American university alongside Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Even more troubling is the president's casual association with a man whose international reputation is mired in scandal. This leads us to ask, with the solemn weight of patriotism and the urgency of truth, Mr. President, Nigerians deserve to know why a man born in 1966 is being paraded as your classmate who graduated in 1979. Were you taught in the same classroom or in different decades? Well, in the meantime, Ziggman made headlines in African media in 2021 after being detained for 12 days in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Ziggman's Dubai-based company, Aftrade DMCC, specified that the reason for the incident was allegations of arms dealing, which Ziggman strongly denied. Ziggman's lawyers stated that the arrest in the DRC was politically motivated and that ultimately he was cleared of any wrongdoing by DRC authorities. Well, here's a press conference he granted after the incident.
We became huge victims of wrong information supplied from somewhere to the security services of Democratic Republic of Congo about our arms dealing or about some other accusations. And we came to a situation that without explanation, so in detention center, we spent almost 12 days without any phone connection. So they cross-checking us because of this information that we became victims of this wrong, totally shocked information that was distributed in the mass media about us. So after all these ways that we get through in detention center, after all cross-checking and all questions that was done, it was prepared a big report that we are totally cleared by 4 security agencies of Democratic Republic of Congo, that we don't have nothing to do with any trafficking, that we don't have nothing to do with any training activity, that we are legal agricultural businessmen that came for agriculture and mining projects like we do in many other African countries to Democratic Republic of Congo. When they finalize their cross-checking and all security questions and all these procedures, we were released today in the morning with a full explanation that it was totally cleared by all agencies of security of Democratic Republic of Congo, and we are welcome to do any business in Democratic Republic of Congo if you want, because now we're fully cleared, and these victims of wrong information is totally taken out from us, and we are ready to be investors in Congo, and we are well. This was the message when they release us finally today.
All right, I thought it was important to play this video. This was back in 2021. I guess that's the response to the Atiku media team who has questioned his dealings in Africa. He said that he was, arrested wrongfully and that he was cleared of any wrongdoing. Yes. So, but also the question about his attendance at a Chicago school university. I don't know if it was Chicago State University that Tinubu said, but he just said a university, correct? In Chicago. I don't know if it's the actual...
No, it said schoolmates.
Schoolmates, but at where? Did he say CSU? Or did he say at a university in Chicago?
No,
that's the question.
Just said schoolmates.
Schoolmates,
So what's the university that...
We don't know now. That's why we're asking.
You don't know the university your president...
No, I know he went to Chicago, but he can go to multiple... I'm not defending anybody here.
Okay.
I'm just asking about facts.
Okay.
And, empirical facts. So, the cable did the Lord's work. They actually did a fact check. And, this is what they posted. This is from the cable. They said that Ziggman, while speaking with Day Night TV, reportedly said that he was born on November 26, 1966 in Minsk. That's the capital of Belarus. This means he will be 59 years old by November 2025. In the interview, he was quoted as saying he earned a bachelor's degree from the Belarusian National Polytechnic University, where he studied in the Faculty of Robotics and Robotics Systems between 1985 and 1989. And he added that he studied business marketing at the University of Illinois, Chicago, in the United States, from 1991 to 1995. He equally received a master's degree from the university, that's University of Illinois in Chicago. He also said he once served in the Soviet Army from 1983 to 1985. This was, a video that, Cable had fact-checked. I just got some excerpts from that video, and these were from Ziggman himself. So again, the question is, what university was the president talking about? Because Ziggman has said with his own mouth that it was the University of Illinois, and we know that our president went to Chicago State University. Dr. Abati.
Okay. Well, I think that Polibe and his principal,
Yes.
Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar, they have partisan reasons to play politics with this, you know. And I said yesterday, election season is over. We're running a government now, you know, so we can focus on the running of government. I will not want to join anybody to call the president of Nigeria a liar. No. 2, let us stress the point that he said schoolmate and neighbor.
Yes, we stressed that
He did not say
as well.
they were classmates. He did not say, the president did not say he attended the same school with Alexander Ziggman. Schoolmate.
What's the school meeting?
No, he said university at the end of the video. He said
well,
our
I
university.
didn't hear
Let me tell you what he said.
But what's a school
Hold
mate?
on, he
He
said-
you just said that. Said,
Hold
is
on.
this attend the same school? But he called it a school.
He
mate.
didn't mention school.
Let me tell you what
But
he
he said
said.
schoolmates
Hold on,
now.
El-Rufai.
Yeah,
Let me
please.
tell you what he said.
Tell
He
me.
said that our university will be proud of us. So it was a university. It's not secondary school. It's not
He
primary
said
school.
Ziggman
He said
himself
university.
Now says he attended University of Illinois, Chicago.
Exactly, good.
And what is in the public domain is about President Tinubu attending Chicago
Correct.
State University.
Those are the points,
So
yeah.
that's why, you know, people will play politics with it. That the president of Nigeria probably does not know the university that he attended. So is it University of Illinois, Chicago, or Chicago State University? So that's why his political opponents would like
Right.
to seize upon it. But as for Alexander Ziggman, he's basically a businessman. He
Yes.
runs a group called AfriTrade. Now, the incident that occurred April 2021, he and 3 others were arrested in the Democratic Republic of Congo because they were labeled arms dealers.
Yes.
And they were said to be planning to organize a coup in the DRC. And he said, look, that was misinformation,
Correct.
disinformation, that he was just a businessman. He was going there to meet a foundation, Moisi Kande Foundation. And he's also Zimbabwe's honorary consul in Belarus. So that's the source of his connection with Zimbabwe. There were no charges against him and the others. So
Right.
you give him the benefit of the doubt.
Correct.
He was not charged. He was not tried. You know, they were released after 2 weeks
12 days.
detention, 12 days.
Yes.
Well, almost 2 weeks. So that is the story about that.
Yes.
I don't think we should hold that against him. The biggest office that anybody can possibly occupy, some people say, is to be a friend of the president. You will be surprised. I've seen people in this country
Yes.
who will go and print a business card. They will say friend of the president. And they say it's a very powerful position. However,
We know that.
what I said yesterday is that Mr. Ziggman is helping with this Belarus connection, agriculture, training of persons, which is what he does.
Yes.
And he says he's involved in other African countries. What we're asking for is, what are the details? Was there transparency and accountability? Did he bid for it? Was it a competitive bidding? And, you know, how is this going to be processed? Earlier this morning, we talked about agriculture. The Brazilians also investing about $1 billion in addition to $2.5 billion. And then we were saying, how do you process all of this? Technical management, administrative management, training, and would there be the involvement of states? Because the federal government of Nigeria does not own farmlands
Yes.
in the states. It's Zamfara, Niger, where you have Farmer Bago, and in Lagos, where you have Origin Tech Group, partnering with Governor Sanwo-Olu, who is 60 today,
Yes.
by the way. You know, so those are the questions we
Right,
can raise.
right.
Let's focus on the issues.
All right.
This matter of whether University of Illinois or Chicago State University or whatever,
Right.
I made a point yesterday. You don't need a school certificate to be president of Nigeria.
All right, Dr.
In fact,
Abati.
once you can speak English and you attend maybe a seminar in Umukwata, Delta State, you can be president of Nigeria.
Which is
So
unfortunate.
let us,
All right, Dr. Abati, we have to
Why
move
is it
on.
unfortunate?
It's
We have
unfortunate.
had presidents who
we
could not produce primary school certificates.
What do you call it? Grade A people to rule us, like you always say. Anyways, at the end of the day, I believe that, you know, the presidency will respond to the Atiku media aid. And of course, a lot of Nigerians who have asked what university the president was talking about. We'll take another story now. The interview granted by former governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, to Arise News on Monday, June 23rd, has been trending online, especially because he made strong criticisms against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration. While during the interview with Charles Anyogolo on Arise Prime Time, El-Rufai claimed that President Tinubu never really liked him and that they really did not get along. The former governor also took credit for Tinubu's emergence as president, asserting that he feels responsible for removing, in his words, urban bandits who want to destroy Nigeria. El-Rufai said a coalition party will send them packing and fix the country. He also claimed that the APC has 91% disapproval rating, which he termed the worst in Nigeria's history. Let's take a look before we take some reactions.
Bola Tinubu was never someone I was close to, even in the party, because in the party I was a Buhari boy. Bola has his boys, Buhari had his boys. We are Buharists, no apologies. So Bola Tinubu never really liked me. We never really got along. Is he perfect? No. Some people said Bola Tinubu is not his name. Nobody knows his birth date for sure. Nobody knows who his parents are for sure. There are all kinds of questions.
And that didn't bother you at the time?
It did bother me because I know my name, I know my parents, I know my birth date, I have classmates, okay, and there are no questions about whether I graduated from Ahmad Bello University or not, okay? All those questions were there about about Tinubu. But for me, the question was, he was governor of Lagos, yes? How did he govern Lagos? He governed Lagos in a very inclusive manner. He had an Igbo guy as a commissioner. He had another Hausa man from Daura as one of his special advisors. In Lagos, in 1999, that was almost unique. Nigerians are tired of the APC. We know that, we have polled that. There is 91% disapproval of this administration across the country, 91% disapproval. It's the worst in Nigeria's history. Everybody is saying we have a problem. This country is targeted for destruction by a collection of urban bandits. Let's come together, send them back home, and put this country back on track. I have no ambition, okay? I just feel that having contributed to bringing about this tragedy to Nigeria by contributing to the emergence of Bola Tinubu as president, I should contribute in my last lap, okay? Because I'm 65, I should be retiring. In my last lap, let me
You've got a long way to go.
Let me contribute towards removing this evil that I believe will destroy Nigeria if left unchecked.
Wow, El-Rufai. Well, the Director General of the National Institute for Cultural Orientation, Otumba Biodun Ajiboye, was on Arise Prime Time last night. He said El-Rufai should be disregarded because he's a time waster. Let's take a look.
Malam El-Rufai should be disregarded. He's a rabble-rouser. He's a rabble-rouser because, one, this was the Kaduna State that he ran for 8 years. He can't even go back there freely because the members of House of Assembly, they took a vote on his government, and it was a vote of no confidence on his government. So what is his pride? Why does he think that the northern Nigeria will follow him in his dance of Makaba? Why does he think so? Why does he think that he controls the northern Nigeria? Who gave him that confidence that he's Mr. Right in Nigeria and what he says makes meaning? As far as Nigerians are concerned, Malam El-Rufai is a time waster, a man who has no understanding of loyalty, a man who has been publicly called a pathological liar, and he didn't even mind. He has no reputation. He's deficient in character. He's defective in behavior. All he knows is about himself.
Rufai is enough. Rufai has been screaming here. Wow, Ajiboye is special, really. But of course, like I said, that this interview has been trending. A lot of reactions, and I'll just take this one before we discuss. This is Easy, Mr. Easy. He wrote, El-Rufai, sir, Were you able to fix the problem of insecurity in Kaduna when you were the governor? What you couldn't fix for 8 years, your predecessor did it in less than 2 years. Talk is cheap. Typical Niger politician. Meanwhile, the Kaduna state government released a press statement on Tuesday refuting claims made by El-Rufai that projects commissioned by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Kaduna were initiated by his administration. The statement clarifies that out of the 3 projects commissioned by the president, the Vocational Training and Skills Development Institute and the 100 CNG buses were fully initiated and completed by Governor Uba Sani's administration. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu Specialist Hospital, however, while conceived during a previous administration, was only 53% complete and lacked equipment when Governor Sani took office. The Sani administration prioritized and completed the hospital. The Kaduna state government emphasized that the achievements are verifiable and are part of Governor Uba Sani's commitment to good governance and development. Rufai, over to you.
Okay, let me address both sides.
Yes, please.
In spirit of balance. Balenciaga.
Yes, always balance.
Yes. The same El-Rufai that President Tinubu went to Kaduna and said, I need you, El-Rufai. The same El-Rufai that led a consortium of governors and they said that the Supreme Court should prevail over Naira policy. Same El-Rufai. The same El-Rufai that helped Baba answer question in Chatham ass.
Exactly. Team Sheep.
Baba called El-Rufai, he answer question, he shine.
Yes.
Nasiru, good one, Nasiru.
Yeah.
Same El-Rufai.
They were distributing questions.
Distributing question in the favor of Team Sheep. Nasiru pick one, answer it.
Yes, I remember that.
The same El-Rufai that was front and center, moving everywhere, that I even heard that he was part of those that made the agitation and say, no, power must come to the south in the party. The same El-Rufai is malicious, is liar today. Please, the likes of the man that came to say that about El-Rufai, why didn't they say that about El-Rufai in February 2023? El-Rufai is a devil now, Abi. You see, that's why I don't take politicians seriously and I can't do politics. Oto, Timominu, I will always speak the truth and say it the way it is. On the flip side of it, let me now go to El-Rufai's part. If El-Rufai had been given minister, are we going to be hearing all of this?
Question.
If alignment and agenda, are we going to be seeing all of this? The same El-Rufai that went ahead and supported President Tinubu's candidacy and everything, even answer question for Tinubu, is not the one saying Tinubu is not competent again.
That's what he said.
The same El-Rufai that stood tall, that took a consortium of governors to face the minds of the CBN that time because of the Naira policy that they felt they were going to affect them. The same El-Rufai that went with Tinubu on the campaign and sold Tinubu to Nigerians and says this man is going to revolutionize things. The same El-Rufai that was preparing to be able to take his rightful position in the government that he fought for is now saying that same government is sold to us Nigerians. It's not an aberration, will not come in 2027.
So they are urban bandits.
So they are urban. So the question is, if El-Rufai claims that Tinubu is a bad product now, why did he sell Tinubu to Nigerians then? So did he know it was a bad product then, or it was because he didn't get position in Tinubu's government? That's why he's changed man now.
All right. All right.
Hope I'm able to balance.
Yes, you did very, very well. You did very well.
You said that there is a point of correction.
What was the correction?
You said that El-Rufai that stood tall. Are we talking about the same Nasir El-Rufai?
Yes, he stands tall.
Okay.
Dr. Abati,
I know a difference.
He's a giant.
Okay.
He stands tall.
All right.
Okay. It's
Dr. Abati is a
But the issue in that interview was when he was talking about a certain poll that had been conducted.
Right.
And he was saying that the polling, that there is 78% disapproval of President Tinubu in the southeast and the north, and that even in the southwest, President Tinubu doesn't have up to 50% disapproval, and that even in Lagos, it's Lagos that he said is 78%. and in the southeast and the north is 91%.
Yeah.
No, that I don't think that
what does it
polling
poll?
is
So
reliable.
where the
So, Rufai, I thought you were going to talk about how empirical the polling is.
How empirical is the polling?
Yeah,
where is the source of the poll? What's the methodology?
Would like that's what I expected you to say.
Empirical.
Instead of saying somebody is standing tall. When we know that, the Rufai that I know is
all right.
he's a different person.
But at the end of the day, he was fact-checked by the Kaduna state government, and they said that, saying that he commissioned those projects that obviously we can fact-check, and it's the Uba Sani administration that commissioned 2 out of those 3 projects. Well, we'll continue to follow up on the story. Bimbai, I'd like you to discuss this story. Let me take my breath. We'll take another story now. Rita Ushe, popularly known as Raya, who made headlines after criticizing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration over economic hardship, is reportedly being punished by the National Youth Service Corps. A video featuring Raya went viral on social media after she called Tinubu a terrible president and subsequently promoted a 30-day challenge among young people to voice their complaints about the high cost of living in Nigeria. The National Youth Service Corps reportedly extended Raya's service year by 2 months as punishment for the viral video. Raya had only 1 month left of her mandatory national service before the extension. The development has been condemned by a cross-section of Nigerians. Let me take Omoyele Showore's tweet. He wrote, "This Tinubu regime might go down with Rita Raya's National Youth Service Corps matter. This is not acceptable. We will mobilize down to the passing out parade, except Rita is allowed to complete her NYSC national service without let or hindrance. Hashtag no Rita Raya, NOPP revolution." Now, I mean, Vimbai, this story was quite alarming and it's been trending, and we do need a response from NYSC as to why that happened. What is the reason why her service was extended by 2 months?
Absolutely, because at the time when the story came out and it gained traction, there were assurances that she wasn't going to be penalized or victimized or punished in any way for having said that statement. You remember we went through the code of conduct for NYSC. We unpacked it in so many different ways. And ultimately, what we all agreed was the fact that being a copper does not restrict your freedom of speech whatsoever. Yeah. Your right that is enshrined within the Constitution. Is calling a president a terrible president a derogatory thing? We agreed that it's not. And even the president has gone on to say that he is open to criticism, that he should allow criticism. But we made the same point here on this table that the president is saying this, but unfortunately, the various sycophants in various places don't follow that same advice. They can't take it. They're unable to take it. And it's unfortunate because this is why there are several stains that are being brushed on various aspects of this administration, not necessarily because what the president is doing himself, but because you see what the governors are doing at state level. Now you see at NYSC level, this innocent girl who's being punished for this. What type of society are we breeding if we're now afraid of a young girl who's come online to express her opinion? Mm-hmm. It paints a very gloomy outlook on where we are, especially with the issue of freedom of speech. Absolutely. And you remember there was that diplomatic communique on Democracy Day, which also flagged the fact that they're concerned about the abuse of this freedom of speech, as well as they'd also highlighted the Cybercrime Act. So this is something that especially we in the media insist on continuing to highlight, because you allow one thing and it's a slippery slope before the scope increases, and before you know it, media houses will be censored and so forth. That's why it's important to nip it in the bud. I'm glad Showore is taking this up, as a matter that he is concerned with, because it is absolutely unfair. So the NYSC should come out clearly and explain why her service is being extended. We wait for that communication.
Well said, Vimbai. Well said.
Welcome to Shamra News TV.